Hello, this is Unexplained America, and I'm your host, Lisa. And today I do have Amby with me. It's Professor Dr. Amby Bramlett now. But Amby is with me, and this is a special Scary Heifers movie review episode, and we are reviewing 1998 Faculty.
Awesome. I'm so excited. This movie is a good one to talk about because it lets me talk about 90s stuff, and that's my favorite thing to talk about.
Yeah, you love 90s, and this is in kind of to get us in the spirit of school, going back to school. So, yeah.
Yeah, that's a good choice, Lisa, because it is back to school time, one of my favorite times of the year. Yes, August is, I think, and I was thinking about this morning, August is my favorite month, I believe.
Really?
Yes, because, okay, so August is my favorite I can't talk. August is my favorite Taylor Swift song.
Okay.
August and everything after is my favorite Counting Crows record.
Okay.
Scott and I got married in August. I'm a professor and I used to be a K-12 teacher, so August represents new, a new year and beginnings. Yeah, I feel more like it's a new year in August than I do in January. So, yeah, and I love the smell of school supplies. Kathleen Kelly, I want a big,
Blue crayons, sharpened pencils.
Yes. So, August is, I think, my favorite month. So, I'm really excited. Yeah.
It is not my favorite month. But I am looking forward to, I do really enjoy those first day of school pictures, so I'm excited about that, and those should be coming out by the time this lands. Those will be coming out like the week after, so I'm excited about that. I do like August for that, but it's hot and I'm done with it. I like obviously November, my birthday month. I'm ready for the Burr months.
Yeah. I can't believe you let me get married in August.
I can't believe it is. I still believe it wasn't outdoors. It wasn't outdoors.
Yeah.
Thank goodness.
And we had a luau inside in a hotel the night before.
That is.
Yeah, it is our 20th anniversary. So happy anniversary to my Scott.
And to Scott. And then you'll have to make him listen to this. Awesome. Well, we're going to talk a little business real quick. So go find my Facebook business page and then let me know if there's any content. And I will be posting also merch. So I'm going to do just a Cash App merch. So if you want some merch, you can get with me. But yay. So we're going to get into The Faculty. It's a horror / sci-fi.
Yes, it is.
Yeah. And it was written kind of, okay, I read this. It was kind of written by Kevin Williamson, but it said he did rewrites based off of a 1990 script.
Really?
Yes, so he did get the, what do you call that? The listed as the writer, but it did say that he actually took a script and just made changes. Is that what you understood?
Yeah.
And then he was busy, so he couldn't direct it. But
Did
he was the one that, of course, did Dawson's Creek,
Right.
And he wrote Scream, right?
Yes. Okay. So here's the thing with Kevin Williamson. Last year, I read an amazing book about the making of Scream, and I'm gonna look it up. So if anyone wants to read it, I've read it and I listened to it on Audible, and it kind of gives a brief history of Kevin Williamson and everything that he had done as a writer. It's the book is called Your Favorite Scary Movie, and it's by Ashley Cullens, and she talks a little bit about Williamson and his writing. That's actually how he got Dawson's Creek, because he was so successful with the Scream movies, and it was such a blockbuster. Then by that time, he could do whatever he wanted. So that's why he came back and he did two. He was less involved with Scream 3, right? And then he wasn't involved at all with Scream 4, or the new ones. And so, yeah. So as far
as 7, right?
Yes. So as far as the faculty goes, you're right. He is listed as the writer, but I'm sure there was a lot of ghost writers that went with this, because they were at this point, because you said yourself this was 97. We talked about this before.
Yeah,
when it was filmed.
97.
Yeah.
And released. And in fact, I thought this was interesting. It was released on Christmas Day.
Yeah, see, I don't remember any of that.
I don't either. I don't remember. And I obviously we were big in the Scream. Scream is a big to do, but I honestly don't. Did I see this at the theater? I don't remember.
I don't remember. See, we were hanging out then. I remember that, but we did not go see this at the theater. I don't think we saw this until it came out on video, which goes with the research I did because I think the popularity of the movie happened during the VHS cycle, right? It wasn't during the theatrical cycle.
Yeah.
So,
But it did pretty good in the 80s. Well,
yeah,
we'll go ahead.
yeah.
But okay, so it's kind of a short synopsis of the film, and obviously, if you haven't seen it, pause this and go watch it, or listen to us and go and watch it while you listen. I think that would be entertaining.
Yeah.
But basically, it's set at a school, and these kids are all these different types of kids in this high school. You've got kind of the, like you said earlier, like kind of like a breakfasty club situation, but you've got these kids and something's going on, and you're watching the faculty, quote unquote, get taken over by these what comes to be like a parasitic alien, and these kids of a little section of these kids get together and they're fighting because the whole school gets contaminated, the whole faculty, and so they have to basically figure out what's going on and save the school.
Yeah,
pretty much.
Yes. Oh, I do have one more thing to add to the before we get off the hang of it. It was pushed into production by the Weinstein brothers, and it was rushed. And it actually says that it was written. So let's get this right, in case they're listening to our podcast. But it was written by David Wetcher and Bruce Kimmel
In 90.
You're 90. You're right. It was written in 1990, and then after the success of Scream, Williamson was asked by the Weinstein brothers to do rewrites, and it was just a rush job. And I can see it being a rush job in watching the film.
But isn't that interesting that they just listed Kevin Williamson instead of listing? Why wouldn't you just like list all three?
I don't know, because he was the big name at the time.
No.
I mean, he could have like
I
I
wonder if
said.
they sued. I wonder if there was any like legal retributions.
That's interesting.
That's a good question.
Yeah, it is.
Everyone knows.
But all I know is that's how he got Dawson's Creek, which was like his baby,
Probably coming off of Scream, and this would have been coming off the popularity of Scream, because Scream was what, 96?
I believe 97, and it was it 96 or 97? Oh my gosh, I can't believe I'm blanking. It was 96, but like
I remember thinking we were 16.
yeah, but like I just know that Kevin Williamson would never have gotten to do Dawson's Creek had he not had that success with Scream. And the Dawson's Creek type stuff, that's I think what he wanted to go into, is to the staying in that horror area like Wes Craven. I mean, Wes Craven tried to venture out. Remember when he did the one Meryl Streep movie that was not a horror movie?
No, which one did he do?
I think it was music. Was it? Let's see. I'll have to look that one up while you.
Well, that sounds like a horror movie.
Well, he did one big budget movie that was not a horror movie, and it was like, I don't know, he did The People Under the Stairs, he did all of that, and then in the 90s he was given the chance to do Music of the Heart. Yes, in 1999.
I did. I was either.
Yes, it was Meryl Streep, Gloria Estefan. Yeah, it was about, I think, like school music programs. So
I saw The Mirror Has Two Faces
with Barbara Streisand.
Yeah.
Oh, did I say Barbara Streisand? I meant Meryl Streep.
Maybe I heard Barbie. Either way.
That's a big difference.
Either way. Well, I didn't watch that one. The music or whatever.
The Music of the Heart. Yes. There was, I remember there was a song that played on the radio all the time from that, but I'm looking at the stats from that movie. I don't think anybody else watched it either. Yeah. So, but Meryl looks really good in that movie. She looks so cute.
We are way off topic.
We are. That's okay. That's okay. So,
well, let's circle back a little bit.
Yeah, you had all this. Leave this on the floor.
And talk about nothing's going on the cutting room floor. Let's talk about the cast, because okay, so here's the deal. I watched this movie last night, and I made Daryl watch it, and I made notes because I didn't remember it. Like, this is not one that stuck with me.
Really?
I mean, I remember the gist, but this had a huge cast. Like, right off the bat, you've got Elijah Wood, huge. Like, he was a kid actor. He did, oh goodness, remember that, The Good Son? Oh,
That would me. Yeah, that's a movie that stayed with me.
yes. Oh goodness. And Elijah Wood is playing right away. He's getting beat up big, right off the top. He's the nerd, and he'll be in the core group. But he was beaten up bad. It was ridiculous. I mean, the '90s was kind of a scary place. They talk about nowadays nothing. I mean, it was that whole scene right off the bat. He's getting beaten to a pulp. But this movie has Usher.
Yep. He doesn't last long in this movie, so
He doesn't have a big part for sure, but he plays one of the football players. He's not in the core group, but it's like Usher. And then you have the coach Willis is the guy. His name is Robert in real life. I can't even read my handwriting, but the Terminator 2 guy.
mm-hmm. Yeah.
So he's like the Terminator 2. And then you have Lilith from Cheers.
Mm-hmm.
Bebe Neuwirth, she's the principal.
I don't really like her acting. I don't know why. I think it's because everyone just didn't like her Cheers when she was Lilith, and so I just, she's just not what it is. Yes, yes.
Okay, so when I think of her back then, yeah, I was like, oh, Lilith from Cheers. But now, I mean, she was a Broadway star in Chicago.
And she's, looking back, she was really pretty.
Yeah,
I think it was just
fit. And there's a dancer.
Yeah, but I think it was just because she had played that one part so well.
She really did. She walked around like she had something huge up her bottom. It's so good, Lilith. And then right away, so Lilith is, I'm calling her Lilith, Bebe Neuwirth. She is the principal, so she is kind of attacked right away after Terminator 2 Man. And you don't really know what they're getting you don't know what's going on, but they are getting taken over by this alien parasite. But anyway, but you had one of the teachers, Mrs. Olson, and I'm looking at her. I'm like, oh, that lady is familiar. Mrs. Olson was Piper Laurie, who is the mom from Carrie.
Yes.
And I'm like, if you look back at old pictures of her, she was beautiful. She had a huge career. Oh, yeah. But yeah, so
she just recently died too, right? A couple of years ago.
I think so. Yes, I think it's right. And then Josh Arnett, he pulls up, and I think there's his name in the movie is Zeke. He is the badass. He is part of the core group. He has the dumbest haircut in the universe.
I mean, it's between his haircut in this movie and Jim Carrey's haircut in Dumb and Dumber. Like, I don't know which one I disliked more. But let me give you my whole Josh Hartnett spiel. Okay, so I wasn't good at picking guys as a young person. You know this. You were there. You had a front row. So I would always like these types of guys, like this Josh Hartnett, and then what was the other one? Chris, Katie Holmes went out with him forever, and he was in the American Pie movies. I thought he was so cute. But
which one?
I don't worry. See, I don't know what his last name is now. But those two, I thought they were good looking.
So he was a douchebag.
Well, I mean,
we call him.
So what was his name? Chris something. He was in the American Pie movies. I think he was just in the Sweet Magnolia.
Oh gosh, yes, he was horrible looking.
Chris. I thought he was so cute.
Chris Klein?
That's what it was. I thought he was so good looking.
I thought he looked 50 when we were younger. For some reason, he always looked old.
See, and I never had the same taste. I never. But like,
that's what makes good best friends, though, because we weren't gonna date the same.
No, but like, so I tried so hard to like Josh Hartnett, but it was like I didn't care for 40 Days, 40 Nights. I thought that was a stupid maybe.
H2O.
I
liked him in H2O. I liked his character in H2O, but he pretty much plays the same person in H2O and then the faculty to me.
Yeah.
But the faculty hair is the stupidest hair. Please go Google. If you're listening, go Google Josh Hartnett's hair and faculty.
But I tried, like Wicker Park, I did not watch that movie, Wicker Park. Yeah,
Gotta watch that.
yeah. And then he was in the Black Dahlia, though. Do you remember that? 2006. So
I think he got. I mean, looks wise, I will say he's. I think he got better with age, and
he's pretty.
his acting is good. But in this movie, oh my goodness, he looked so dumb.
That haircut, and then he was always snorting. Like I thought it was pins the first time I watched.
Yeah.
Like why do they all snort?
Yeah, they were. They were.
Oh, it was bad hands.
Yeah, he was hiding the drugs. So basically, he is the school. He pulls up, going 90 to nothing in this old 70s car, and he's the quintessential bad guy. Yes, the bad boy, and he is dealing drugs to the school, which quote unquote ends up saving them in the long run. And
It's the moral to this movie.
the world to this movie is drugs.
No.
Drugs save. But yeah, he was putting this drug that the kids were snorting in what looked like big pens so that he could pass them out at school. I mean, and it turns out, we'll talk about it, he was brilliant, really behind the scenes, although he looked incredibly stupid.
Well, maybe I do know how to pick them then.
I have the funniest stories in. I have so many funny notes. Okay. But yeah, Josh Hartnett. Yeah, Hartnett, right?
Yeah.
Oh, the pretty girl, the pretty quote unquote girl, her name is Jordana Brewster, which I didn't realize, I didn't watch the Fast and the Furious.
Me neither. I think I've seen one of them.
Yeah, no offense to, I'm sure that this is going to be unpopular. It was just, I don't really care about watching people drive Fast and Furious. That wasn't a thing for
Now she's pretty. Jordana Brewster is pretty. Now she's our age. He's about our age.
These people are all either older than us or our age. Elijah Wood was actually the youngest, and he was an 80. He was a little bit younger than me. I think a little bit older. I think it was January of 81.
Yeah.
But he was the youngest of the cast, and he does look like a 12-year-old in this movie. He really does.
Jordana Brewster,
She's 80, I think.
yeah, so she's very close to our age. And then Clea Duvall, she's super duper talented.
Yeah, she is playing the weird girl. Her character name is Stokely, and she's got this horrible greasy hair, and she's like what the kids called emo. We called goth, but she is the quote unquote weird girl. And the Jordana Brewster's the Lila character, so she was really mean to her in this movie. And there was never I thought surely there's a backstory to that. There never was. You never know.
Yeah.
She was such a B word to her. So you had those people. Then you had the big football player. He was dating Delilah. He was popular. His name in real life is Sean Hattery, and he's been in everything. I think in the show, oh gosh, I don't remember what his name in the show was. Casey? No, Casey was the Elijah Wood character. He was the nerd. But yeah, so Sean Hattery's character, he is like the main.
Haddisy.
Oh yes,
Haddisy.
I can't read my handwriting. He was the main character, and okay, guys, he's been in a lot of stuff,
And we can't even remember his name.
I bet you.
He's been in every.
He has. To me, he's kind of like that guy that's in the Yellowstone that was in Dazed and Confused. He's just been in everything. I never remember his. Yeah, I never remember his name either. And then the blonde girl, I think in real life I'd have her now down as Laura Hare. She was the Mary Beth character. She was new from Atlanta, horrible Southern quote unquote accent. In this movie set in Ohio, so she's standing out right away from the other kids. Mary Beth is her name, and she had been in other stuff.
Yeah, I remember her honestly from I think she was in a Nickelodeon show or something. I mean, I remember her for being like a kid actor when we were kids, but she wasn't in just a whole lot. I want to say she was in that 15 show with Ryan Reynolds. I might be wrong on that, but
I don't know. But she was in a lot. I mean, she was in a lot more than you would think.
Yeah.
But it's so crazy. And then, okay, right at the beginning, you see the Scary Movie guy, John Abrahams. So he played the Billy Loomis part in the Scary Movie spoof movies. Does that make sense? So you see him right away, and he's a popular figure face-wise, and then you see right away Danny Masterson is in this movie, the one that's in jail now, the 70s show. Yes, he is in there. And then you see Jon Stewart is a teacher.
Oh yeah, that was a pretty
He's
well.
yeah.
We didn't know who Jon Stewart was back in the day when we saw this.
No, he would have had the Daily Show going on. So yeah, I mean, I think he did the Daily Show before this.
So I didn't watch it till 2000 ish.
Yes,
There was.
so you have John, you have Selma Hayek in this.
Mm-hmm.
Selma Hayek. And then I think that may have been it. But I mean, oh, Shooter McGavin, Daryl said. I mean, the list keeps going. Oh, and the guy, okay, if you're a Seinfeld lover, one of the professors, it was George's boss from Mr. Kruger. It was Mr. Kruger, George's boss from Seinfeld. So, I mean, it's like you're watching this movie and there's at least 15 to 20 people that have done other work, like lots of work. So I thought that was interesting.
I'm just gonna say it. I mean, it almost, it was produced by Dimension Films, and that was the Weinstein right. You know what I mean? And they had the money. They had the wait. I thought they had Dimension. Did they not have Dimension?
I think they had Miramax as well.
Well, that I don't know. They just had a lot of power. They had a lot of power back then. So they probably were able to get a lot of star power. Even though if you think about it, in as far as minutes, how many minutes was Salma Hayek actually in that?
She was probably 10.
Maybe 10 minutes, right? Jon Stewart, 15 minutes, 10 minutes, right?
Ray Masterson, 5.
Yeah, that'd be us. So if you think about it, it's really interesting that it did have a bunch of power players of the 90s, but they were only in it for a very short amount of time.
Yeah, even Lilith.
Yeah, even Lilith. So, I mean, it was a starring vehicle, I'm sure, for the little Hobbit guy, but
I think they thought that it was probably going to be a big deal for this Sean Hattie. Because he was the lead kind of character, and definitely Josh Hartnett's character. But I felt like they thought these kids were probably going to launch even higher, but they all did. I mean, they're all work.
But I think
they're all really working actors.
Yeah. Well, I think Hattie and then Clea Duvall. I think that pairing kind of reminded me in the movie of the pairing of what's his name? In The Breakfast Club when Ali Sheedy at the very end, which I think that's like the worst ending ever.
It was the worst.
It was the worst.
The Jock went after the weirdo.
Yeah.
Yes, they kind of did that.
I mean, I feel like that is
yeah.
I feel like Williamson was probably so busy after all the Scream stuff, and of course at this point he's working on Scream 2, Scream 3, whatever, and he's like, man, I got to get this faculty together. I'll watch Breakfast Club and take notes, and that's what he. And then I'll watch Invasion of the Body Snatchers, and then
Well, they did say and I don't get this. So some of the things that I looked up said that this movie really was an homage, if you will, to The Thing.
Now, I've never seen The Thing. We can see that on the list.
We will put that on the list. So they were saying how there were a lot of nods to The Thing in the fact that either in characters or to ideas or certain movements. And one of the movements was actually, and then they pointed out the fact that Jon Stewart's, and I didn't notice this, Jon Stewart's name in the movie, he was Professor Edward Furlong.
What?
Mm-hmm.
Edward Furlong?
That's what I read. And that was an homage to the Terminator.
Yes.
And Edward Furlong was in the Terminator movie. And they did talk about how the Coach Willis character, the Robert Patron, the Robert that was in Terminator 2, he did have this was a very similar, yes, his character was Coach Willis, but his character was very similar to this character in Terminator 2. And so they were talking about that mirroring each other. Does that make sense? Mm-hmm. On top of The Thing. But I did think, okay, so one of the funny parts for me in this movie, so there's the quintessential jock situation. It's a big football. Oh, and this movie was filmed. It's supposed to be set in Ohio, but it was filmed a lot in Texas. And they used like real Texas football players. But it was really, this school was centered from the very first minute you start the movie. They're talking about the budget and the football. Like everybody goes to the football games. Football is huge at this school. It's a huge football school. Sean's character is like quitting football because the coach sucks and whatever. So, but Sean, for some reason, later on in the movie, even though he's quit football, he is in the locker room showers. Yes, and he has soap on a rope.
Yeah. Yeah, I remember.
Do you remember soap on a rope?
I do. And I think I used to get that from Avon. You know, like,
Soap on a rope?
yeah, I don't even know if do they even have Avon anymore? Because, like, my grandmother used to get Avon all the time. Every month I'd get an Avon order, and she bought me soap on a rope a couple times.
Well, he had soap on a rope, and he was in the shower. And then that was a weird scene because one of the teachers comes in, and it was really one of the few disgusting scenes. But the teacher comes in, and they had infected her, but her skin was like falling off, and they find out later that basically the parasite couldn't live in her body because the parasite needed a host in order to go on, because they needed water, but this woman was too old, like the teacher was too old, and so she just died. She was in the shower scene. It was pretty gross. But I remember thinking, I wrote a note, soap on a wrist.
Soap on a rope.
And then, I put teacher in shower, gross. Okay, we need to talk about this. Okay, so there is another cast member that made it big too. So the teacher...
Oh, Fanny. I can't say her. Her name is
I don't have her real name. She was
is that her
Jane in the X-Men.
Mm-hmm. I can never say her name.
And here was the deal. So in the movie, Zeke is Josh Hartnett. Well, for some reason, and she's kind of young, but she's in her 20s, I guess. They're all, and in real life, I will say most of the quote unquote teenagers were 20 or 21. I think maybe Sean was the oldest. He may have been like 23 or something, or Clea. Anyway, they were in their 20s. Well, she in the movie, the teacher was flirting with Zeke. And then once she turns into like a parrot, like once she gets a parasite in her, like she really like flirts with him. And at the very end of the movie, like she's seen like waving at him, and he's all of a sudden playing football, like and smoking a cigarette.
Oh, wow.
He's smoking a cigarette.
So nice.
Playing football, and then the teacher's in the stands waving at him like a flirtatious wave. Like that, all of that doesn't age well.
That did not age well.
Wow.
Did not. We'll think about, okay, so here's a connection. Do you remember what the first couple of episodes of Dawson's Creek was about?
Yes.
It was about Pacey and his teacher, right? And that was icky. Yeah, that didn't age well as well. And you know, I love Joshua Jackson. I was totally a Pacey girl, right? But I didn't like that part of his, like, story, right? I liked him when you know, he started dating Andy, and he just kind of seemed like that really good guy. And so I chose to forget that first few episodes of the show that made him really kind of a little icky. Yeah. So, and then I was one of the ones cheering when he was out with Katie Holmes's character, Joey. You didn't like that, did you?
I didn't like any of that. I really didn't.
You know, I feel like Dawson was a characterization of Williamson himself in some ways, you know. And I want to say I read somewhere that he had a Joey in his life somewhere. So, but married Casey. But one thing that I think you kind of hit on is with Williamson's writing, it all overlaps a little bit. You can see some of the things that he wrote Dawson's Creek in here and in the Scream movies and stuff. Some of the same tropes, some of the same, you know, like that blending drama and comedy that he's kind of known for, and in blending scary movies and comedy, because Scream was funny in some scenes, and this was funny in a few scenes.
Yes, it was.
So yeah,
it's so interesting to look at some of these 90s movies, though, that like things that were normal, quote unquote, or not normal, but like did not age well, like smoking, or a teacher hitting on a student, you know.
Yeah.
I mean, grooming young children, and of course you've got the Weinstein thing on top of it, like hashtag me too. It's weird now to look back at it and be like, ew, that's icky. but I don't know.
Well, see, I look at Never Been Kissed, the movie, and I'm like, that did not age well. Even though we loved it, we went and saw it senior year. Jealousy, grossy. Yeah, but think about that. That didn't age well either.
There are a lot of things. There are a lot of things from the 90s, and I'm sure even going back 70s, 80s, 90s.
Yeah.
It's just so different now. Things are just so different. It's interesting though, because I'm like, ooh, okay, when they're figuring Zeke's character, Josh Hartnett, okay, we talked about how he rolls up and he's the quote unquote badass guy, and he is dealing drugs, drug dealer. But then in science class, when they do catch one of these little parasites, they kind of, Elijah Wood's character finds it, catches it, and they get it. And then Josh, they're all in the biology lab, and the professor is Jon Stewart. And then you have Zeke, and then you're figuring out that he's smart. Well, then the kids actually make it back to his house, and they're like, "Where's your parents?" And he's like, "I don't even know. They're in Europe somewhere." Well, he has a whole lab, and he has this mouse in the lab that he does experiments on, and its name is Oscar. And he basically like tries an experiment on it, puts the parasite in it, it kills it, then he has to do an autopsy. He does a mouse autopsy on Oscar. And I'm like, this is horrible. Poor Oscar. There was, before that scene, I did write down, longest stare down scene in history. Do you remember that scene? So the kids, so it's like the Elijah Wood, Delilah, Sean, the Clea, who is a Stokely character, the Mary Beth, and then Zeke. They all come together. And then they're trying to they know that the whole school's infected. So they're trying to get out of the school. But there was like this scene where they're walking to Zeke's car. And it is the longest stare scene ever. It's like a montage of just everybody staring at each other.
Is that what
you remember that?
Yes, because like,
It was
so well. This is my explanation. This is what I think. I think that they were trying to kind of push into the whole we're all different, but we're having to stay together, which is just like, I mean, I really think Williamson phoned this script in. I mean, seriously. I mean, Elijah Wood, the Casey character, worked for the school newspaper. That's all with Delilah. Yes, who was the head cheerleader, who was dating the football person.
But then all of a sudden she's in glasses to go incognito.
Yes.
Because that makes good-looking people.
Yeah, so different. Stokely is the goth outsider, So I mean, I just think that he phoned this one in. I mean, I guess that's kind of my whole take on should this be a classic? No, I mean it's a good watch if you're a Williamson fan like I am, but I mean no.
Yeah, and it definitely has become something. What that is, I don't know, but.
Yeah.
I mean, I think, okay, so for me, and I don't know about everybody, I like a sci-fi. I do.
I mean,
some people don't.
Yeah.
Like Daryl, he is not into sci-fi at all. Like I could not talk him or Elle into watching Stranger Things even. And that's awesome. Like Stranger Things, I couldn't talk them into Wednesday. Like both of them were no. Like I'm not into it. So I think for me, the sci-fi aspect kept this movie from being in like a bigger horror movie aspect. Does that make sense?
Yeah. I mean,
to me.
Yeah, but also there's a lot of tropes, like I said, that Williamson reused. Like, Stokely is the horror movie expert. She's the Randy of this group. She
schooled in the body.
She was schooled in the body in the alien. So whatever. She was the we're all high by the end. She was the sci-fi expert, and then she was the conspiracy theorist, and she was the one that really believed. Right? Everybody's like, "You're so stupid," which really they should have listened to her. But yeah. So
okay, you do have bottom line, Zeke has his lab. He figures out the drunk he's been peddling to the kids and he's making money off of them is basically just like caffeine pills crunched up with some other ingredients.
This is the Jessie Spano drug of choice.
What did she say? We were talking about Saved by the Bell earlier, but what did she say? I'm just so scared. Like finally after she
it's like Josh Hartnett's character watched that episode of Saved by the Bell because that's all we got to watch the afternoons in the 90s. So he's like, I know what I'm going to do with these stupid kids. I'm going to crunch up some caffeine pills and put it in a big pen.
So yes, and which is crazy, but like he just figured out, and then okay, so they figured out that these quote unquote parasitic aliens, they need water, and these pills like dry them out, and so it kind of kills them. They figured this out because he did an autopsy on Oscar. Remember? Okay, so that really helped him figure this out. So then, and they're also all confused because of course then they can see who is the alien amongst them or whatever, because anyway that turns bad at the end. Everybody gets turned into an alien except for actually Zeke's character. He's the only one that isn't, but they figure out that basically through Clea they figure out that with this body snatchers you have a queen, like a queen of the hive, male or female, but someone, if you kill them, then everybody will be turned back okay or whatever. So they're trying to figure out who it is, but there is a scene where they're like all forcing each other to snort, and they all snorted except for Delilah. So she was actually like one of the parasites. She had turned. So then by the end, you go 1, 2, 3. You go down the line. Everybody's turning. Even Elijah Wood and Clea. They all get, in the end. They get turned, and then they find out that the actual host was new girl Mary Beth. Okay, but there is a scene where Mary Beth is going back and forth between being this parasite thing, which is like this huge, ugly, parasitic thing with these claws and teeth, or she's just a naked version of herself.
Yeah, I was going to say, or she's just naked.
So she is naked walking through this locker room. And I had to look this up because I'm like, I mean, no offense to her, but I'm like, that's not her body. Plus, it was weird. It was almost like she was wearing a naked suit, like a wetsuit. It was just weird. It was just really weird. But anyway, it did say she had a body double for one thing, but they also had her like wrapped up or something. Because I thought, surely this young girl isn't. I did read that they used body doubles a lot during that time frame. That's just, you had just actresses that did that were the body doubles. But anyway, because I thought that would be horrible to be known as the naked, weird, parasitic girl walking around the locker room. But anyway, that was a scene. But basically,
And if it had been one of the male like teachers or one of the male people, we wouldn't have to endure something like that. I mean, that definitely sounds like a Weinstein decision.
oh yeah, I mean, it was like, well, and it was only showing like boobage, which it was kind of, I don't know, it was kind of newness in a way of like trying to hide newness. I don't know. I mean, it was rated R, so but it's definitely, it wasn't just completely. I hate nudity when it's not necessary, but I will say, I mean, it wasn't nudity for just the sake of nudity. I don't know. It was kind of interesting, but I thought, yeah, you have a body double. That's the way to go.
Yeah. So I'm sure there's some stars that have that written in their contract.
Yeah, but no. Yeah, and these kids, and she was probably only 20. I think she was, again, the oldest quote unquote teenager. I mean, they're supposed to be playing teenagers, but they were mainly like between 20 and 23, and then Elijah Wood was actually the only teenager because he would have been when they were filming, he was only 16.
Oh wow.
So, and he looked 12. I mean, he looks so young, but
Still looks young.
he does look young. I really like him in Yellow. Okay, I do have something there was one character that was cut. I don't remember her name, but she was supposed to have a lot of scenes and they all ended up being cut, but you could see her with Usher. Like I don't remember her name or anything.
It wasn't the Summer Phoenix, was it?
It could have been. We'll look at that. But they did. Okay,
One of the Phoenix kids.
So Tommy Hilfiger did all of the clothing for
I remember the ads.
That is
ads.
so all the kids in '99, the ads came out, and there was an ad campaign, or maybe after the movie came out, but all the cast was in the ads for Tommy Hilfiger. And this girl was, and we'll talk about that. I think I have it in my other notes, but like,
With that up while you're talking.
Like, it was interesting. It did say that Elijah Wood, he actually got his role for Frodo from this movie, from doing this movie. Yes. So one of the other, it was Mr. Knowles' character in the faculty. He didn't even have a speaking part. He told Elijah about the upcoming film and encouraged him to audition. So he didn't even know about it. And then this is interesting, of course, Jordana Brewster, her, she's better yet known. Yeah. She's better yet known for the Fast and Furious. Do you know this person? Okay, so the role of Delilah before Jordana was, originally cast was the Charisma Carpenter who was Cordelia.
It's Charisma.
Uh-huh.
Yes, I used to be a big fan.
So she wasn't actually, yes. So she said she declined the role because it was too close to her Buffy character. So it wasn't her. There's another girl. We'll talk about that. But yes, that she was supposed to be Delilah. Did I say Delilah? I don't even know what I said. I'm embarrassed. Okay, so this was Usher's film debut, and he would go on to be in. You remember he's in She's All That.
I was gonna say he had the most amazing part, and She's a Fail, the dance. We all had a choreographed dance. For our prom, we all did in the 90s. Yeah,
And I had forgotten Clea Duvall was in that too. She's all that. So they were both in that. Okay, so there was okay, this is who it was. Kadada Jones was a character. She was supposed to be a character named Venus in this movie. Well, they ended up cutting all of her scenes. Yes. And so, but she is in the Tommy Hilfiger jeans commercial.
yeah, and her sister is Rashida Jones.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
So
yeah.
she was in the movie, but you can still see her when they're in the biology. She is standing with Usher. Yeah, right there. So she was supposed to be like Usher's character's girlfriend or whatever. But she was cut. Again, we talked about Kevin Williamson. He got the written by credits, but it was rewrite, and he did evidently add quote unquote hipper characters to complete this script that was already written in 90. And then it said, he was busy. He didn't direct this movie because he was busy doing Teaching Mrs. Tingle. Did you see that?
Yeah, you know who's in that? It's his muse, Katie Holmes, was in Teaching Mrs. Tingle.
See, I don't remember that.
Yeah, like there is something there. Like I think Katie Holmes was like I said, she represented what he thought Joey was supposed to be in Dawes Creek, and then she ended up in the Mrs. Tingle film and all of that. So there's definitely a connection and an overlap. And then I think Kate Holmes was in Disturbing Behavior too. I don't remember who did that one. That was during that whole time because there was like you said, there was a bunch of overlapping films that were really similar, and they were all trying to piggyback off off of Scream's popularity, right?
Yes.
And then there was a lot of teenage rom-coms that were kind of piggybacking off each other.
I loved, rom-coms. Oh gosh, that reminds me of all the ones that Freddie Prinze Jr. is in.
Yeah, I mean, it was like, let's make that rom-com. We'll get Freddie Prinze Jr. and Sarah Michelle Gellar. Then they met and they
and they're still married.
Yeah, and they were the it names back in the day. It's crazy that they married each other.
I know.
Let's say, I guess.
And they worked.
They were.
Yeah, they're still going.
And they're both still pretty.
I know they are. And I feel like she's aged really well.
She has aged well.
Okay, so the director that ended up doing this Robert Rodriguez, I didn't realize this, but he was the one that did From Dusk Till Dawn.
Yes.
Spy Kids.
Yes.
And then Planet Terror, which I never saw. I never saw Planet Terror. I don't know that movie.
I haven't seen that one. But it's kind of funny that this is what they did what he did in between From Dusk Till Dawn and Spy Kids. That's pretty funny. But From Dusk Till Dawn, that was also Quentin Tarantino. Yes, and George Clooney was in it.
Yes, I know I saw it, but it's been so long.
I snuck into that baby. I will admit it, since I'm an adult now, but I was like 14, 15 years old, and I snuck into that. We were not supposed to go because it was an 18 or over, but I think we honestly, now that I'm older, I can say now, but I think we bought tickets to something else and then snuck into that one.
That was a good way to do it.
Yeah.
So the composer for this Marco Beltrami, he did the music for Scream and Joyride, but he had several other movies. But
Oh, I love you should get out. We saw that. Me and you saw that together in Court King. We saw Joyride.
I know I saw it, and I don't remember. Did we see it at the movies?
We did. We saw it at the movies because it had that one girl that I don't really just love was in it.
Oh,
Yeah.
yes. Something Saboski or
Yes.
Lee.
Something like that. Like she was a big or she was like a big art house deal at the time. She was like in all the teen movies, but she was also an indie girl, you know.
Yeah.
And then there was
Sabreski, simple like that. And then
I wasn't Indian either. And then the Paul
Giamatti.
no. Was his name Paul Walker?
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, Paul Walker, the one from Fast and Furious.
Yeah, he was in that one.
Okay.
And then
He was pretty.
yeah, he was pretty. But Joyride was a good movie. That was a solid. We
Bless you.
oh, that like a big sneeze.
Okay. So this was kind of funny. So we talked about her name is Famke Janssen, who was Jane in the X-Men. So she was the quote unquote sweet Miss Burke. It says that a little tidbit is she states in 2016 that she never saw this movie. She never even watched it.
Well, she wasn't in it very long. It was long enough to.
I called her Jane. She was Jean Grey. Jean Grey in X-Men. She probably doesn't need to watch it because it's, again, that her character and her liking of Zeke that doesn't do things for us. It's just not good. The original name for this movie, you want to guess what the original name is?
Oh gosh, what is it?
The Feelers.
Oh, I was glad they changed it.
Yeah. We talked about it is filmed a lot in Texas, and they did use a real Texan football team. They did use real people from the community in the crowds, of course. That was easy. That's funny. So Zeke, I told you he drives he gets out of this douche canoe car, and it's a 1970 Pontiac GTO. I'm not a car person, but whatever. By the end of the film, Zeke, like I said, is the only character not infected. He was the only one. All of his friends were infected, but then luckily he quote unquote kills Mary Beth with his homemade drug, and everybody else survives. So basically everybody changes back. The parasite dies in them somehow, and they're fine. Except for that one teacher that was in the shower with soap on the rope. She was just So
I'll tell you, they took this movie and they're like, okay, let's find a bunch of stuff that worked in other movies and just squish it together and make it a faculty.
I think so. But I feel like that. I mean, look at like all of those movies from the 90s, though.
Yeah.
And it's like 10 Things I Hate About You. Okay, well, it was off of Shakespeare's, what is it? The
Taming of
Yes, The Taming of the Shrew. I mean, it's like everything in Clueless, it's coming off of
yeah.
I mean,
they're making another Clueless, by the way.
Yes, a Clueless Part 2.
I'm so excited about that.
Yeah. Clea Duvall, she did state that she really loved making this movie. That there were a lot of nice shots. That the director Robert Rodriguez made it really fun.
Yeah,
he made it. It was just really fun.
Now I saw her little Christmas movie she directed a few years ago.
Clea Duvall, really?
Yeah, it was really good.
What Christmas?
I think it was called The Happiest Season or something. I don't remember what it was, but it was good. It was a good movie.
Well, we talk about Tommy Hilfiger being involved, and that they were all in his jeans ad.
Of course, we all in Tommy Hilfiger jeans in 1998.
Oh no.
You were in Gap. I was in Gap. Yeah. And I was more, what was I? American Eagle. Everything I got was American Eagle back then. Yeah. I was like, you snarl your nose when I'd make you go with American Eagle. Because, the Gap and the American Eagle are right by each other. And we had to go to the Gap and the Banana Republic for Lisa. But then I would have to go to Abercrombie and I would have to go to American Eagle for me. So
I had this lovely Abercrombie. It was like one of those sweater vests. I guess you call it a sweater vest. Anyway, it was so cute.
I am very well to this day. I just cringe at the amount of money I spent at American Eagle. And I loved the perfume too. But like when I didn't have so much money, I go to American Eagle, and that's
funny.
yeah.
Happy girl.
Yeah, I had a job interview to Abercrombie and Fitch. I didn't get it, but I remember I had like a little go in there talk to somebody kind of thing or something. I don't remember.
Remember when you walk in and there's just a bunch of dudes that weren't wearing tops. I was like, this is weird.
They were naked on the walls of Abercrombie.
I'm like, it was way too loud in there. Yeah, it always was really. I have really bad allergies, and it always had a lot of cologne going on and a lot of loudness, and I really didn't love that store.
Tommy Hilfiger, I'm sorry, that has aged well, the clothing. I still like some Tommy Hilfiger stuff. Yeah, I do. I do. I have a pair of shorts that are Hilfiger shorts that, yeah, they were probably, the 90s style, but I like them a lot. So.
That is interesting. I remember, I don't think I ever wore much Tommy Hilfiger at all. And nowadays, if I do like anything in that realm, it's
Ralph Lauren, yeah, or Lauren, whatever. I like that. Yeah, that's aged really well too. That's got very good too.
Yeah, I feel like classic things like that will never go out of style to me.
Like Ray-Bans. Somebody, you say Ray-Bans and I say overalls at the exact same time.
I think, I talk about, so in my episode on Abe Pipkin, which by the way is coming, I promise. Part 2 is coming. But Abe, wore overalls. And I'm like, that is so adorable. Like, I feel like eventually I'll get to my overall, era.
Oh my gosh, you're scaring me right now. I've never heard you say anything like that.
But I want more of like an Oshkosh bagosh. With like puffy sleeves underneath it. Something really cute.
I love overall shorts. I was so ecstatic when those came back in stock.
I will say when Elle is adorable in everything. She always has been. She's just had one of those. Daryl has a mannequin body. You know what I'm saying? Like all clothes like look good on Daryl, look good on Elle. But anyway, when she was younger, she had the cutest overall shorts. I'll have to find that picture and post it, but it was adorable.
Overalls a lot too.
I just love it. Okay, so you'll love this because we were class of '99 to age us very well, but we graduated in the 1900s.
Of course.
But it says clips from the faculty were used in the music video class of '99's cover of Pink Floyd's "Another Brick in the Wall."
Huh.
Yeah, that's interesting. That is
we were talking about how it was filmed in '97. It was released in '98, but it really gained it was more popularity in '99 because we all went to the movie, or no, we went to the video store and would rent videos or whatever. And this one was rented quite a bit.
I would say, yeah, horror movies, I feel like, especially, but
they had a second life on VHS.
Yes, definitely. But listen, this is why I think that people feel it was '99 because it literally came out Christmas Day.
Oh, that's true. Well, that is true. It was still playing in '99.
I love that it was, because horror movies typically come out in February for Valentine's Day because people wanted to go to the movies, or they come out in October.
Yeah.
But I love how they released this Christmas Day. And it did say this movie on its opening weekend landed at number 5 at the box office. And it earned
that number one that
I don't know. Yeah, you'd have to look that one up. The budget on this was $15 million and it made $63 million worldwide. It made $40 million in the US.
Huh.
So it made money. This was a box office hit. It was a commercial.
Music of the Heart only made $15 million.
I can see that. Actually, I can't see that because I didn't watch that movie.
Here is, and we saw at least 2 of these movies, I remember. So here's the Christmas Day 1998 earners. The number 1 was Patch Adams. I do think it did drag me to that.
They did.
We've seen 3 of these.
I did.
Yeah, you dragged me to that. I did not like that. And then number 2, Stepmom. We did watch that. And then You've Got Mail. I remember me Corbett went and saw it. You've Got Mail. And then The Faculty was number 4, and The Prince of Egypt was number 5.
Okay, so You've Got Mail, and I will say I know a lot of people think that all I watch are horror movies, which I watch every movie. I love every movie.
We are movie people.
Like one of my favorite movies, other than Silence of the Lambs, is of course You've Got Mail. You don't know. It is because I love Pride and Prejudice, and so it's just the and she talks about Elizabeth Bennet, and
And I,
anyway.
well, I used to be in love with that whole New York atmosphere you saw in the rom-com movies, even though that's really not how it is. But that I wanted to be Kathleen Kelly. I wanted a little bookstore. That's still my dream is to have a bookstore and a coffee shop.
That would be nice, and a haunted house. It does talk about. Okay, this is okay. I don't know what that's not even interesting. It's more of that Jordana Brewster. I don't know. For me, she's not something to pull a movie for me. I guess because I just didn't get into those Fast and Furious. So this is interesting. So the film got a Rotten Tomato score of 55% and also an audience score of 55. So it's
That
just
seems right.
yeah, and I can see that. I mean, but it was nominated for 8 different awards at the time, but it didn't win any.
Yeah. Well, it used a lot of animatronics and, real makeup effects, even though CGI was something that was kind of becoming a thing, I mean, uh, thank you, Ray. Thank you, Matrix. After the late 90s into the early aughts or whatever, CGI became the thing. But that one did still use because it was gross, like you said, with the teacher and the skin and all that. It used a lot of those old timey kind of makeup effects, like Freddy Krueger type makeup.
Mm-hmm. It was kind of. I mean, this wasn't like a gross movie, and it wasn't really like. I don't even know.
It was not a slasher.
No,
Not a
it wasn't a slasher. It wasn't that suspenseful, really.
no.
But it was a good watch. I mean, like last night, I watched the whole thing. I wasn't thinking, oh, this is terrible. But I also wasn't thinking, oh, this is wonderful.
Yeah.
Like, I want to rewatch it.
Well, see, that makes sense because Ryan, my middle son, we sat down like Thursday night. I said, hey, we need to watch this movie because Lisa and I are going to podcast about it. And he said, okay. And then I put it on. And when he saw what it was, he goes, no, Mom, you made me watch this last year and I cannot sit through it again. And so
I can see that.
yeah, he said, I don't like this. I'm leaving. And this is my son that does like a good horror days, but he said absolutely no to watching it a second time.
Yeah, I can say it's not like Halloween that I can watch a million times
Or Scream.
or Scream. Yeah, I love Scream. I can watch those.
I could watch The Craft a million times.
I didn't get into The Crowd.
I loved
I mean, it's not that it was bad. I think I like if I'm gonna watch shows about witches, I think I like Practically Magic.
Yes, we're gonna go see that when it opens. Yay! I'm so excited.
But overall, so I definitely would agree with the Rotten Tomatoes effect. But I mean, it made money, so it did well. It made money. We're still talking about it today. It's like a good start of the school season.
Yeah. So
I think it's a good movie if you haven't seen this movie, or if you were like me, if you completely forgot it in 20 something years.
yeah,
It's a good rewatch every 20 years.
every 20 years. So yeah, but
It's not like a repeat, like I'm gonna watch this every October.
yeah, yeah. No. See, like, I like the movie Urban Legends, but it's really, I think I like the thought of the movie. I think I like the story. I love the idea of the movie Urban Legend. I've seen it several times, but every time I watch, I'm like, this is not just that great, but I like the idea of urban legends because, I love folklore and all of that stuff. So, but it's not just a great watch. I would put the Faculty and Urban Legend kind of together in that group. They're once in a while watches, but we were getting very close to when these teenage horror romps kind of jump ship, right? Or kind of jump the shark, whatever. I'm trying to think when they just stopped being good. Now, Final Destination, I think, was a great movie. I don't like to watch it because it makes my fear of airplanes even worse. But
Or log
pull it off. Yes. Any 90s kid who sees a log truck and doesn't it doesn't move or get scared. They're lying if they said they don't do that.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think that there were some really good gems there in the 98, 99, 2000. But I think by the time you got to 2001, things just started going downhill for the teenage horror type film, and it didn't bounce back until M. Night Shyamalan and Signs. I think it had a bounce back. The Ring came out, and I think that's when horror kind of bounced into new territory. I think we were dredging up the same tropes over and over from about 1999 to 2002, right? And then
Definitely. There's a lull, I feel like. And the Ring, all of them.
yeah, the Ring, the Grudge, and I put Signs up there as three that kind of rejuvenated horror and made it fun to go to the movies again, because all three of those were fun to watch at the movie theater.
Yeah.
You know,
Definitely.
so we
Except the only M. Night Shyamalan that was terrible was that's the Lady in the Water.
oh, that was so bad. I didn't like the Village that much either. I wanted to like it. I tried to like it.
I liked The Happening. I've liked most of his.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I did not like the Lady in the Water. But as you
Signs
like,
is great.
for me, the best, I will say, the best reinvention or the newest of the horror movies that came about was I did like Insidious, but The Conjuring, the whole Conjuring.
Yeah.
Those
That was another flip too. Flip the script type one.
Yes. I mean, those came about and they weren't gross and they were suspenseful and they were scary.
And they all became like that.
But in the element of they could be real, because of course they were playing off the fact that, oh, these really happened, allegedly happened. And anyway, those were awesome to me. But The Ring was a good one.
Well, there were a lot of bad. Well, wasn't Insidious kind of like The Conjuring? Wasn't it just basically the same movie with a better looking cast? I mean,
poor Rose Byrne. It's like the same cast. It's got the Patrick Wills.
Yeah.
I did not. I will say some of the Insidious was good, some of it, but then you had like Saw come out. I think
that I didn't like.
Those were really gross. It was just really gross. But I mean,
yeah, we've never covered a Saw or anything like that.
No,
because that was not our that was not our bag. That was not what we liked to watch back when we were really into it. Now we like some bad movies like The Reaping. The Reaping was well, we loved it, but most people didn't. Like if you look on it out of Rotten Tomatoes, nobody liked The Reaping, I think, besides me and Lisa, right? But I'll watch that one over and over again because I like that kind of
the skeleton key.
Oh, I'll watch that a million times. That used to be my go-to-bed movie.
I think there used to be, I think for me in the early 2000s, I remember me and Daryl's first movie to watch together was that Along Came a Spider. And then you had the movies like The Bone Collector. I think you had some good yes, you had some good thrillers again about instead of necessarily horror. And the horror was not very good because remember we went through that cycle of like Freddy versus Jason. Which I did see on, I wanted Daryl to take me to see that for Valentine's Day. And it was just stupid, but it was like.
And everything but Freddy versus Chucky.
Oh, yeah. And the Chucky, like Bride of Chucky. I never even saw those.
I'm glad I saw Bride of Chucky.
But Child's Play was good. It was like, but when they started, they kind of went through trying to bring back these old movies. It was like, there's nothing new. Nothing good going, nothing fresh going on.
Because it was all regurgitated movies like The Faculty. Let's take what works. There was one about werewolves with Joshua Jackson and Christina Ricci that was terrible, and it was just one.
Remember that?
Yeah. See, you don't remember, but it came out in that time, that blip where. We really weren't getting anything new anymore until The Ring. I mean, The Ring was remarkable, and I don't use that word very much, but that was a remarkable movie.
It had everything in it. I will say, I like The Ring.
Yes.
Elle ended up this little tidbit. She dances, she did solos. Remember, so she did the Ring character. She was Samara. And she came out of it. We had her come out of the TV, and I basically bought her this this was really fun. I bought her the nightgown, and then I got to rip it up, and then I got to tea stain it. I actually dipped it in tea to stain it. I've done that a few times, but Elle has been Annabelle. She's been the Annabelle doll, and she's been Samara. So we both love some scary movies. I love that about her. But I will say we went to see the new Evil Dead. It was not good.
Oh,
Elle did not like it, but it was. I mean, we were in the theater all by ourselves, so it was one of those. That was the second time that's happened. We went to see the new Candyman together, and we were all by ourselves. That's freaky. Like, it was scary. Anywho, but
I liked the new Candyman.
the newest
The
Candyman,
newest Candyman.
it was not bad.
But I liked the original. Again, I'm into folklore.
I really liked, the original Candyman was good. It was really good. It was a really good movie, and it was scary.
Mm-hmm.
He was scary.
Oh gosh. But just it was done right. It was done well.
Well, I mean, we were only like, what, 10?
We were going to be watching his
Yeah, we were 10.
You know, that
10 to 12?
yes, that was when Dr. Kiggles came out. Remember that? Yeah, that was another winner. That one did not stand the test of time. Okay, so y'all tell us what lost 90s horror movie you want us to do next. Like, I don't know what we never did the people live upstairs. That one is disturbing. I'm up for that one, 'cause it's
I like it.
yeah, we never did Candyman. We've talked about it so many times on this show, but I don't.
Candyman.
Yeah, don't say it again. Don't say it.
Well, I would like to hear how you feel also about The Faculty. So let us know, A, have you seen it? Specifically, what you thought of Josh Hartnett's hair. Please. How you feel it aged or did it age. Yeah, just tell us all about that. But yeah, we'll definitely be back with, I feel like in October we'll be, and I do have a lot of goodness lined up. I'm going to be putting out Rex Heuermann. I actually had covered the Gilgo Beach, the Long Island serial killer for the Patreon. So but it was before some other stuff came out. So I will be talking about Rex Heuermann. Ooh, I'm going to be doing the day in the life of, like a mortician.
Oh my goodness.
I know that's going to be a lot. And then I do have a listener's tales coming. So a lot of an A Pipkin, I promise. A Pipkin part 2 is rolling out right after this one. But yeah, so there is a lot of interesting stuff coming your way.
Wow.
This was fun. So let us know, guys, and thank you so much for listening. And just stay tuned for more content and just fun stuff coming.
Yay! All right, bye. Thank you.
Bye, guys.